JDM, dude. Because I'm not going to say his full name. I don't know what kind of name that is. Jack Della Maddalena.
That sounds good.
Della Maddalena.
That way.
Dude, that's hard.
1 and a 2 and a
Maddalena.
That's it.
Hey, Maddalena. Welcome to the Casual Combat Sports MMA show. We got a second episode for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the first one. We are recording this on a normal schedule now, so we'll be releasing these on Friday, so our takes won't be 1.5 weeks different from what's happening in the fight world. You know, so that was the bonus episode you guys watched on Tuesday, but Friday is today, and we are going to be talking about UFC Fight Night Noche. Is it Noche? UFC Noche?
UFC Noche.
Yo, here's the trippy thing about this fight card. The whole time, I thought it was in like Guadalajara, Mexico.
Racist.
And then no.
Is that racist?
No.
I only
Same.
found out when I heard the crowd and they were speaking English. And I'm like, dude, people in Mexico really know the English language really well. And then people made fun of me because I posted this thing. I wrote this whole thing on a post. I was like, I don't believe championships fights should be in anybody's hometown. And they're like, hey, idiot. It was in America. And I went, delete. Delete.
It's in Vegas. It was
Guys,
T-Mobile, right?
That man who deleted right there is David So. Give it up for David So.
Hey, buongiorno.
Buongiorno.
At our far right, we have our resident combat sports fighter extraordinaire, Nick the Ear.
Hey, what was your official amateur record?
Shit. 500, baby. 1-1.
And that's when you
Let's
retire.
go.
Retire. Did you retire on top?
No, I retired with a loss. Like a fucking loser, dude.
Why didn't you wait for a win?
I got all those head injuries, and it was just hard for me to get back into it because
That's because you weren't weight training at the time.
I wasn't.
You didn't get it. You didn't have a neck to stabilize everything.
That's
Bro.
absolutely
You look
correct.
so
dude.
skinny, and you also had an undercut, right?
Can I tell you guys
maybe.
this funny story?
I think you say underbite, and I was like, I still have one.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
So when I first decided that I wanted to train kickboxing and boxing,
Oh, yeah.
I was looking around for new trainers.
Yeah.
And then there, lo and behold, what do we always go? We go to Yelp.
Mhm.
And then there was this guy named Nick Dunn. Now, I didn't look at pictures. I saw the reviews. It looked great. Now, I saw a picture of an Asian guy holding pads, and I'm like, clearly, this is Nick Dunn's assistant, right?
Yeah.
And then I walk
Sensei
up,
Chang.
and I'm, texting him. I'm like, hey, I'm here. He goes, cool. I'll meet you outside. I come outside. I see an Asian guy. I'm like, okay, assistant. Where's your actual coach? Because what kind of Asian guy has a last name fucking Dunn?
You even looked at me like I was trying to scam you, dude.
Yeah, I was like, nice try, Ching Chong. Get the hell out of here.
He was like squinting his eyes, and he just was kind of looking at
It
me
wasn't
unsure.
squinted. My eyes are naturally like that.
No, but he was even more so. Like when you're kind of like suspicious
So
of
he
something,
was asleep?
he was like,
Yeah, are you trying to sell me like fucking Herbalife? What's going on? What's going on here? Fucking pyramid scheme.
yeah, dude.
Dude, how often do people think you're not Asian when they meet you?
One of my first amateur fights, they call out our names to go weigh in.
Yes, I love
The
it.
guy goes, Nick Dunn? And I'm like, oh, that's me. And he goes, you don't really look like a Nick Dunn. And I'm like, yeah.
Wait, why is your last name Dunn?
Because when my dad immigrated here, they just were like, I don't know how to sound that out, whatever name he had. So we're just going to give you one. And it's going to be Dunn.
Wait,
That's
what's his actual last name?
He doesn't even fucking know either. You know what's
Oh,
funny?
damn. He extra
But he's like, it's
Does
Sin.
your dad have CTE? Like,
He
what
might.
the-
He might.
Okay.
But he was like, it's like Sin, like that. Sin.
Nick Singh. Okay, makes sense.
Sin? I don't know.
So they just went Dunn?
They just went Dunn.
People be fucking with Asian people sometimes when they first come to this country. I knew a dude, his name was Tiger, because when he first came to the States, a bunch of people that he was working with, when he was going to get an English name, they're like, he was like, what should I call myself? And he was like, Tiger. He goes in, he goes, look, guys, it's a tiger. And they're like, dude, we were just fucking around. Like, why is your name Tiger? So the whole time he went to our church, I thought he was like some kind of gang member. It was like a crazy story.
Oh, shit, that's Tiger.
He just got pranked. That's it.
For life, dude.
The Tiger.
He could always change it back.
People think I have an Asian name. I'm like, nope, it's Gilbert.
It's the widest fucking name ever.
And people go like, oh, did your like parents name you that? I'm like, well, I'm Gilbert Jr., so my dad's name is Gilbert.
Dude,
Get the fuck out of here.
Do you know any white Gilberts? I don't know any white Gilberts.
I know a lot of white people with the last name Gilbert, and there's a cartoon character named Caillou, and his cat's name is Gilbert.
Well, there it goes.
And then there's an MMA fighter named,
Gilbert Burns.
and that name doesn't sound very.
And he beat Chimaev. I don't care what
Brazilian.
people say.
Hey, yo, shout out
Oh,
to
hot
Gilbert
take.
Burns in that one time when he came to the UFC and he was wearing overalls and a yellow shirt. This fool looked like a 3-year-old. What the fuck
Wait,
was that?
what was that?
He showed up. He had this thing where he was wearing overalls and he looked like it was his first day of school. I'm like, Gilbert Burns, what the fuck is going on here, man?
Overalls are hot, dude. They're coming back.
It was his first fight back with the Fro, and he had this yellow
Oh,
shirt.
when he moved up to 170?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Look at that shit! I told you,
Dude, he looks like Little Bill.
you know your first day of school when you're 5 and you're gonna get your pictures taken.
He's my first day of school. My first day.
It's
Bro.
my first day.
That is a pretty bad outfit.
That cute little boy could kill you.
Who is he fighting for this? UFC 287? That was recent.
That was
It
like
might have
he's
been Chimaev, dude.
Oh my god.
No,
That's
I
why
think
he
he's fighting
lost.
his mom. That's what he's doing.
Oh, was it Usman? It was Usman. I think he squared up with Usman. Oh, Jorge.
Jorge.
All wrong.
Wow.
All
We are
worst
completely
fucking
wrong, dude.
It was
guesses.
a Polaris Jiu-Jitsu tournament, dude.
It was going against Gary Tonin.
Shout out to
Wow.
Jorge Masvidal, by the way, retiring with all that money. I used to watch that fool in his backyard fights,
Oh,
just
yeah.
scrapping. Crazy.
Jorge Masvidal, dude.
I think he's
Masvidal.
going to be. Do you think it's not backyard? It's a bare knuckle MMA. Does that take off? Because that
Dude,
junior does not.
okay,
I know
I'll-
we're going to talk about this, but that was pretty wild.
Dude, when you watch a BKFC fight, I love combat sports. I love watching people fight. But when I watch that, I go, this shouldn't be allowed. It's so fucking brutal,
It
dude.
reminds me of UFC 1.
Yeah.
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 It's pretty fucking brutal, and you never think you think that 4-ounce gloves does nothing, right? It does something. 'Cause
Oh,
when
definitely.
you watch bare knuckle fighting,
Scary.
it is insane. When they connect a punch, there is no coming back from it.
I think most people don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't even think, like, look at Luke Rockhold. He figured out
Bro.
the wrong time
Man, he's-
when he's fighting Mike Perry. And it's like, how do you even spar? How do you even train for a bare knuckle fight?
I don't know. Mike Perry looks like he just eats bricks all day. That's it. He just
Yeah.
chews on stones, rocks, and bricks. This guy is a caveman, dude. He was on the Rogan podcast. Did you see that shit?
No, I didn't see the episode.
He's literally a caveman. Like
He's the best kind of caveman. though.
he was made for bare knuckle fighting. Like he was in the wrong promotion the whole fucking time. There is nobody that's tougher than Mike Perry.
Seriously.
He is tough as nails. And just watching him in this, like even the way he was like talking to Luke Rockhold and the way that he was gonna beat
He
him.
knew.
So good.
He wiped a booger on his sweater. Did you see that?
Yeah.
No.
He
Wait,
picked
what?
his nose, and when they're facing off and they're about to take pictures, he picks his nose and wipes it on almost said Luke Perry. Luke Rockhold's like really like furry jacket, because you know that thing's gonna stick on that.
fool-
You know that's
He
gonna
knows
stick.
textures and textiles.
When he was talking shit to Luke Rockhold, it was so funny. He goes, yeah, you might come forward and you might sock me in my face, but you gonna definitely break that hand on my chin. I'm like, what? I was like,
Yeah, you're gonna knock me out, and I'm gonna go sleep.
I'm like, what?
What?
I can't wrap my head around this shit talking. I'm like, this is some next level shit, dude.
Dude, and then he punches a hole in his fucking lip.
Oh,
Did you guys
yeah,
see what
yeah.
happened? Like he got cracked in the lip and
cracked his tooth.
oh dude, you just knew right when he got hit, he was like, I'm out. Like right then and there, he decided he's out.
And there's a substantial size difference too between them.
Yeah, and Luke Rockhold, you're a fucking model, dude.
Yeah.
What are you doing fighting bare knuckle?
You
Yeah.
handsome diesel model.
Go
dude.
get your pictures taken. What are you doing, dude?
He's a
Oh.
samurai though, dude. You don't
He
tell
is,
a
he is,
samurai
he
what
is.
to do.
He's a true gangster.
Fucking Tom Cruise, baby.
Yeah, he
Uh,
he does his own stuff.
Do we see a lot of more UFC fighters going to this right after instead of retiring? And that kind of sucks.
I mean, yeah.
Oh man.
Look, I believe.
I think the styles have to make sense because you see the guys who went over to the bare knuckle. Like when you hear about them fighting,
Eddie Alvarez, Chad
yeah,
Mendes, right?
but then it makes sense though. You're like, oh yeah, like those guys are a different kind of
the
breed.
Eddie Alvarez Chad Mendes fight in BKFC was probably the only ones that I really enjoyed. Those two still amazing.
Yeah,
Just
great fight.
and then
And
you
then
have
Connor in the back,
giving them coaching advice,
and then he throws it and points at Connor.
and it fucking
So cool.
worked, dude.
Do you think people really listen to Connor? I feel like the guy shows up to every fight, says shit, and he just times it out with people what they're doing already.
He could, but also too, it's like it's hard not to miss Conor McGregor, bro. He's probably the loudest guy in the whole fucking arena.
Biggest question: you think he's on roids? Yes or no?
Dude, he has the face. He has the
Or is it just
the
really bad
testosterone
Botox?
face. You ever see
oh,
that shit?
the deep cuts in the face.
Yeah, bro. When you start to see guys with that, you go, "Oh, you're on something." He's doing TRT or something
he's
'cause it doesn't-
definitely on the roids, man.
because he looks different.
He
Yeah.
looks thick, yeah.
His head's a little bigger. His fucking the things right here.
Obviously, his body looks different, but his face is what stands out to me the most. Like he doesn't look like Connor. He looks like Buzz Lightyear with his fucking
Do you
shit,
think?
dude.
Do you think his teeth got TRT?
Oh, they
'Cause
got
I think
they
the
got whitened,
It's
dude.
the combination of the face and the teeth that looks so fake.
Yeah. But you know, if you make that much money, dude, you're shaving these boys down and you're getting.
But I
caps
wonder
on
with
it.
a fighter like Conor McGregor too, right? And you know, he even said it himself, like he is a prize fighter. It's like you have the money, so and you actually do have the legacy. So what's the whole point? Like he just
Yeah.
keeps losing.
Mhm.
And
What
he have-
is the point?
And he has like a multi-billion-dollar business, right? Isn't like, what's it?
Proper 12.
I almost said 12 proper.
Let's get it done right. Pete, can you say proper 12 for us?
Proper 12.
Oh, not
Yeah,
bad.
that's not bad.
Understated, simple,
It's something
elegant,
about it.
classy.
It's classy. I love it. Proper 12.
Guys, let's get into UFC.
Dude.
Noche. I don't know why they called it UFC night. Do we know why?
Because it's in
Fight night?
It's fucking
Oh,
Mexican
is that-
Independence
Yeah,
Day.
UFC
dude.
fight night.
I get. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Grasso.
You don't like it?
I don't like it.
That's fucking rude.
Make it a pay per view. This deserved to be a pay per view.
Honestly, it had
That fight
pay-per-view
was so good.
feels.
That fight was so good.
The
I
whole
know-
fight card.
Look, there's a lot of controversy, right? We're going to get into it. We're going to get into the 10-8 round. We're going to get into the main event. But I'd like to talk about some of the other fights on the card. Are there any fights that stood out to either of you? Up and coming, people that look like Nick. What do you guys think?
I
That's
mean,
rude.
Okay, first of all,
Talking about Kevin Holland?
we're talking
Yeah,
about
talk about Kevin.
People confuse us all the time.
listen, Raul Rosas.
Rojas. Bro, I don't know his name either. Yeah.
Raul
Raul
Rosas,
Rosas
right?
Jr..
I love his energy. I love his confidence. I love his vibe. But every time I look at his face, I see that blobfish in the deep sea, and it's just hard to not look. It looks.
Yeah, bro.
It just looks like Nick without his front teeth. You know what I mean? Like, is it wrong for me to say this? Listen, Raul, if I ever meet you in person, please don't beat my ass.
Yeah.
I am a comic by trade, so I have to say you look like this.
A blobfish.
Yeah.
That means that he's calling you a blobfish, dude.
I could see it.
Like, if you just.
Cool.
I could see it.
Like, if Nick had dentures and he just popped out the front ones,
Yeah.
right there. That's what it is.
And if I just stuck with fighting a lot longer.
It's going to be
know.
you, man.
You
the,
know,
the fact that he's only 18 is pretty crazy. too.
that's what people also forget too, right? They're kind of shitting on him because of his last loss, right? And he got fucking his ass beat because there are levels to this shit.
Yeah.
Remember, he is 18,
Young man.
Yeah.
and it's insane how good he is for his age. And by the way, he is beating adults who have, winning records, or they have fights on their record where they have one and they fought other adults. He's
Yeah.
fucking. What were you doing when you were 18 years old?
Not doing this.
100%. I just got a picture sent of me when I went to Hawaii for the first time 10 years. I looked like shit.
Is that the barbell photo?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
And by the way, Barbell Brigade marketing. What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
People, I don't want to buy that shirt.
I was like, is this what an athlete looks like?
That's your sponsored athlete?
But yeah, the fight that I watched 5 or 6 times, Roman Kopylov.
Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
Wow.
He's such
Wow.
a crazy striker.
I mean, people have talked about this guy for a while, right? He's undefeated, extremely explosive, and he hits like a fucking tank. And he's not. And by the way, when people talk about, when they use these adjectives for fighters, they usually talk about fighters who kind of just throw haymakers. He is a surgical fucking knife. Dude.
So technical.
So amazing. Probably my favorite fight on the whole card, to be honest with you, because of how shockingly good he was. And by the way, it was also very, very competitive because it's not like the person who he fought was a bum, Josh Friend. Like, he was good. In that first round, Josh was using his jab. He was using his reach. And obviously, this is a whole southpaw versus orthodox fight. So you're seeing people do the hand fighting. You're seeing the outside foot play. And then obviously, Josh was doing a good job in the beginning of it. But one of the things that I noticed that I thought Josh kind of messed up on was, even though he was, starting with the hand fighting and he was getting the foot position, whenever Josh was throwing his right kick, his foot was on the inside.
So it was wide.
It was wide, and it didn't have the same effect. Versus Roman, when he was throwing his left kick, his foot was on the outside, full hip
Straight
extension,
shot, too.
Kong!
Oof.
And it was like a fucking thunderstrike.
His kicks are so fast.
What is that?
And his setups. Because you know how some guys, like when they throw the body kick and then they want to go to the head kick right after, they don't hit hard enough to the body or get the reaction of him being like kind of scared and wincing a little bit. But when he threw that in the second round, the sequence that you showed me, throws the body kick, waits a couple seconds, and then a crisp head kick. It was on the guard, but you know that shit fucking hurt because it was so fast, and he was expecting that body kick, and his arm was all fucked up from it
Bro,
too.
this guy's kind of on a tear right now.
Bro,
dude.
he's killing everybody.
Is he getting a top 15 next? I hope so.
Oh, first fight in the UFC, he lost.
Oh, he did. I thought he was undefeated.
No, he
First
lost
2 fights.
First 2 fights. Now he's on a 4-fight tear.
Ooh, let's go. Okay, I was
So he started to
completely
piece it together. And the guys he beat are pretty fucking good. Like they're not
Started
chumps. And I'm sure that they're gonna build him up. He's gonna fight someone in the top 15 next, because his KO of Claudio Ribeiro, that little head kick, that shit was nasty.
crazy, dude.
And he landed those types of kicks on Frem.
And the great thing about him too is like he doesn't telegraph any of his shit. And so when you're watching this fight and you watch it a couple of times back, you know, people give they say his favorite attribute is that he's so explosive, but it's not even just his explosiveness. It's like his timing.
Yeah.
Whenever Josh would kind of enter into his zone, he would counter so fucking fast. And like I said, we're talking about speed here too, but you have to be a smart enough fighter, and you have to be intuitive enough to know when to throw. And the pockets and where he was throwing was just so
Those
perfect.
body shots.
The body shots. I mean, the body kicks were fucking amazing. And in the first round, there was another a head kick that he connected. Josh actually did a great job of blocking it, but you could tell after he absorbed that shot, that arm was fucked.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
fucked, dude.
And
What
it was
do you
the body
do?
kick, it was the head kick, and it was the damage over time. But his positioning, like you said,
It's perfect.
so good.
Watch.
He's just out of the way enough, and then he comes back with a loose like 4 or 5 punches to the body, and just the shot selection. And then from there, as soon as he goes body, he fakes body, goes up top, and it's like, oh, it just chef's kiss, because he had his timing down by the second round.
He was downloading.
'Cause I didn't see the first round, but the second round, the last sequence that you showed me.
The first round was
He had
really
him timed.
competitive, and towards the last 2 seconds, Josh Frem gets connected. Kopylov connects a shot to Josh with a spinning back fist, and it breaks his nose.
Oh,
And so throughout the rest of the round and the fights, he basically was trying to breathe out of it. His mouth was open, and he kept blowing out of it. So I don't know if that was obviously that affected the second round as
he was
well.
pretty bloody by that second round.
His nose was busted. He couldn't
Ugh.
breathe out of it. It was pretty much done at that point.
You know what? This kid seems like a killer. I say just give him like Vittori and let him just get up there.
Let me see top 15 on
Right
middleweight.
here.
I think that we just need some new faces.
Here, you
'cause I
give him
think-
Kevin Gastelum or give him Jack Hermanson. Give him Hermanson so he has to fight.
Is Kelvin
jiu-jitsu player.
Gastelum still at 185 or is he going to 170?
No, he's 170 now.
He's
Oh, is he?
170 now. Huh?
He made an announcement that he's going to stay at 170.
If he can cut that, that guy's messed
Hey, look,
up so many
I feel
times.
for Kelvin Gastelum, man. Cheeseburgers be hella good, dog. I get it, man.
I don't blame you, dog.
That fool comes in 185 like he just dropped his kids off at a soccer practice. Like, I get it, dude. It's hard to say no to French fries. I understand.
Because he's probably at that weird weight where he's like in the middle.
I don't think I've ever seen him cut once. Like physically look cut. It's always like right after soccer game softness.
It's kind of fucked up.
I wonder
dude.
what he's going to look like legitimate at 170 because he wants to do a legitimate run at 170.
He was supposed to fight with Shavkat, right?
Oh, that's right.
And then the fight got canceled because he got injured.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with Gastelum. I'm looking at all the guys on welterweight. I still think he has a better shot at middleweight because the welterweight division looks fucking scary for him. Chimaev, Shavkat.
Chimaev fucking everything up because he should be a
Usman.
middleweight.
Yeah, 100%.
He should be a middleweight. The only reason why he's top 4 at welterweight is because he beat Gilbert Burns, which you don't believe happened.
No.
What do
I
you
was
think
there.
it is? Like, okay, so obviously there's been a lot of conversation in MMA recently with Sambo fighters, right? What is it about Sambo that kind of separates them from the rest of the pack?
I think because they've been doing MMA their whole fucking life essentially.
I agree.
Like that's what it really like. You see these old videos of Habib doing Sambo. He's doing MMA, but like super intense, and he has so many fights under that rule set.
I think it's the same thing when you look at Taekwondo guys that start to do kickboxing or MMA. They just kick better. Like you just have been kicking that way since you were 4. So I feel like they've been doing MMA since they were 4 years old.
So they're punching, they're kicking, they're grappling, they're doing ground and pound, and they're chaining submissions together. And then they have the gi top. So then that gives them a whole nother arsenal of takedowns that maybe a traditional wrestler may not have. And then, but then you're also seeing high level wrestlers do very well in MMA, obviously, right? Just for.
But they're striking too at a high level. That's
Exactly.
what's amazing.
But they, you look at like Sambo is like it's a national sport for them. So and they've been doing it since they were like combat sports in general, boxing, kickboxing. There's always great Russian guys competing in all those sports, and they're at the top. So I think for Sambo specifically, it's just the overall. I think everyone else is a little behind. You know,
We should do one day of that. We should all wear gis and just go full sambo sparring.
Man, Sambo is so. I think I've only heard of Sambo recently, but I actually didn't know that Fedor is a Sambo fighter.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So it's been around for a while,
Yeah.
right? So obviously it has some merits for quite a long time, but even within Sambo, it's evolved,
Yeah.
right? Because if you look at the way Fedor fights, it's not what you see traditionally from all these newer Sambo fighters, right? The Sambo fighters now are typically more grappling heavy, right? A lot of judo throws, a lot of like judo trips and everything else like
Yeah.
that. So because when I look at Fedor, I mean, obviously he had amazing ground and pound, which I believe that's where the Sambo thing kind of came in. But now I've like there's an evolution with this practice as well, because now I'm seeing these fighters, they're so scared of the takedown. They're so scared of what they can do on the floor. But some of these Sambo fighters won't even go to the floor.
I'll just stand up.
Yeah, I'm just going to beat the shit out of you. Do something about it.
Makachev. Look what he did with Oliveira. He just stood up.
Yeah.
him up.
Ankalaev, dude. That motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, he doesn't even wrestle, but he's got it. I'm
By
sure
the way,
he does.
100% that fool is Abe Lincoln. There's no way he's not Abe Lincoln. This motherfucker here freed slaves and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Trying to lie to
He's
me.
Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, I saw him. He had that top hat on, baby.
I hope he walks out with the top hat. It is
Oh,
next face off.
please. It was him and Zabit,
Zabit.
yeah.
the original Abe Lincoln, dude.
Man, it's sad that he's not fighting anymore.
He had a
But-
heart condition.
Yeah, is that why he's
Yeah, he had like a heart condition or something.
So since we have this up,
Yeah.
let's talk about Kevin Holland, JDM, dude. Because I'm not going to say his full name. I don't know what kind of name that is. Jack Della Maddalena.
That
Yeah.
sounds good.
What is
Della
it?
Maddalena.
That way.
Dude, that's hard.
One and a two and a
Maddalena.
Maddalena.
That's it.
Hey, Maddalena.
Hey.
Bro, I
We're not doing
hope
that, dude.
Australia that takes off. They're just cheering.
Oh,
That'd be tight.
great.
That'd be tight.
Every knockout.
Now,
He hates it, though. He's like, oh, I fucking hate
Oh,
when
that
you guys
fucking
do it.
Korean guy started that.
by the way, on the channel, I've been verbally abusing myself, and the freaking comment keeps getting taken down. I hate it.
What?
Like, I go on my own personal channel, and then I write negative comments about myself on our channel, and it keeps getting taken down. I
Like
hate
what?
it.
Like what?
Huh? I said, I hate that fat Asian guy. And it keeps getting deleted.
Wait, on Oos?
Yeah.
Hate speech, dude.
Are you deleting that?
Stop deleting my hate
al-
crime.
the
if there's
algorithm,
if there's
dude.
only one comment and it's negative, they'll delete it, I'm sure.
They keep deleting it.
Yeah, dude.
That's
That's
so
racial
It makes me.
slurs,
I
something.
I
in there.
posted it 4 times now.
Dude, stop, hurting yourself. Hey, self-love, man.
Dude, it's such a good joke though.
All right, guys. UFC Noche. Are there any other? What was that? Are there any other fights on that
Oh, we're
card?
gonna talk about
Kevin Holland, dude. What the fuck, man? You just
Go.
gonna ignore me for?
Oh, sorry, I
David
got
Slow's
distracted by his
comment, dude?
amazing fucking Macarena thing.
That's all we say about the fight. Moving on.
Next thing.
I know you guys want to hear us talk about the fight, but we're gonna sing the Macarena.
I do want to talk about this even before the fight. I think one of the things that concerned me going into the fight was actually how Kevin Holland was speaking on the pre-fight conference.
What was he saying?
So I don't know why this irritated me, because I love Kevin Holland, especially the way he is on the mic.
He's great.
But he seemed a little irritated for absolutely no reason. So I was wondering about his headspace. And I know that this is absolutely stupid because we don't really know what's going on with him. But I do believe, like in these pre-fight and post-fight conferences, we can pick up on a lot of things.
Definitely.
Right. So a reporter was asking him, like, hey, so for you, why don't you care about the belt anymore? Like, what point in your career did you not care about the belt? Because that's what he was saying. And then Kevin Holland got irritated. He was like, well, why do you care about the belt so much? Why don't you tell me? And he goes, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you, like,
Yeah.
at what point in your career did you stop caring about the belt? He goes, well, if I don't care about it, why do you care about it? I'm like, this doesn't sound like a strong-minded person.
A little defensive.
Like what's the problem here? Like, the question was actually appropriate. Like,
Yeah.
as a fan of his, I'm actually curious too. It's like, oh yeah, so why is the belt not important to you anymore? And what is a motivating factor for you as a fighter if it's not the belt? Because that's what we typically see with prize fighters. And he just was so irritated at this reporter, and I didn't understand why. So I was like, I don't know if he's in the right headspace.
And it kind of looked like that in this fight. Like whenever I see Kevin Holland fight, and I think a lot of people feel the same way, especially at 170. I expected him to be in like the top 5 by now, because I think that's how I think he's so good.
Yeah.
Like when he was at 185 and he was piecing up dudes like, Joaquin, whatever, Joaquin Buckley,
Yeah.
like that finish,
Joaquin
like
Phoenix.
how good, yeah, how
Remember when he gave him that cleft lip? And that's the story behind the clip.
And now Joaquin Phoenix is Chimaev. He's actually Chimaev.
That's the origin story.
Great actor.
Great actor. By the way, great lip. Great lip.
One of the best cleft lips around.
I love
For sure.
clefts. Clefts are the best.
That's a
if you don't-
t-shirt. Clefts are the best.
Yeah, if you don't have a cleft lip, I actually hate you.
He hates all of us, dude.
Non-cleft people, yuck. Am I got it, guys?
But you're right. He is like, he has the star quality.
I feel
too.
like he's so talented, and I feel like what gets in his way is his ability to like want to fuck around in the octagon. And I don't think he did it that much for this fight. But like the Wonderboy Thompson fight, I felt like he engaged a little too much, and I was like, man, like just fucking take this, dude, try to take.
Do you think he kind of bought into that identity with people talking about it? Like, oh, this guy had the mouth. He loves to talk in the ring. So you kind of take on.
Yeah,
that kind
I
of thing.
think
Like,
so.
I kind of got to do it now.
Because he was getting praised for that, right?
Yep.
Because he's so funny, he was so interesting, and I'm sure when you do that kind of stuff, more people want to watch your fights, right? Because he is a superstar for a reason. But I just felt like. I felt like that was a good matchup for him. JDM is very good.
Mm-hmm.
I thought JDM was going to win, but even in the moments of them exchanging, I was like, I left watching that fight feeling like Kevin Holland could have done more. What did you guys feel? Do you think that was accurate? Do you guys think
Very
just
accurate.
JDM just did such a good? Because he's very technical. JDM, he's very good.
They were both very technical, to be honest with you. I mean, Kevin Holland didn't really overcommit on his shots. He was definitely throwing out that jab, checking the distance, and he couldn't really get his. First of all, his cross is fast as shit. Jesus Christ, man!
Oh, Kevin Holland.
Yeah,
It's that kung fu, baby.
Dude, I felt like he could have tagged them a lot more. I feel like he didn't let it go enough. And from what I was watching, I was like, just more volume, Kevin.
More.
Like just down the pipe because he's punching down. He kept throwing a lot of these like back fists, like a little tap, which is fine. I'm sure it sets up his right hand. But I was like, where's the right hand following it? But
his side kicks were really great because when JDM was trying to close that distance, he would sidekick him away, which I thought was fantastic, which is a great part on JDM because that didn't really deter him. He just kind of timed it a little bit better on his entries. And I think like with somebody who's like super long, JDM had a really great tactic. He just had to find his right moments to get in the pocket and start throwing them looping shots over.
his eyes were really good too. Hands tight and just eyes open the whole time, and he was just looking for all those shots. And I also feel like Kevin Holland could definitely benefit from just a more diverse kicking game.
Where's his black belt skills? Like that's where
Yeah.
I'm because we keep talking about this, right? He's a Travis Luter black belt, black belt, black belt. Where?
Yeah.
I want to see it because if the like we talked about this in the last podcast too. The threat of the takedown opens up so much for strikes. So if he has that skill, where is it?
Yeah.
I want to see it so bad.
Yeah, I mean, when was the last time we actually saw him grapple? I'm trying to remember. I do remember him.
Oh, he
on the ground.
submitted Chiesa. I forgot about that.
But it seems like everybody's submitting him. So
Yeah, but isn't he supposed to be also the ground guy?
yeah. Okay. I mean, I know that's a side thing, right? How come he keeps on getting choked out by the same thing, by a darce?
Kryptonite.
I have no idea, dude.
That's
Because
like
I think
it's like his
well,
kryptonite.
when he fights too, like especially with the Chiesa Kevin Holland fight, I just felt like Chiesa was just desperate for the takedown, and when you're desperate for the takedown, you just don't set it up well. Guys like Kevin Holland who have giant long arms are gonna see that shit coming a mile away and just cinch up the neck. I'm sure that's something they game plan for. Like, he doesn't defend it that well. Let's just keep throwing it up.
That was kind of a really easy fight for Holland. It was
That was-
almost too easy.
It was I felt sad for Chiesa.
Because I like Chiesa
Yeah.
a lot, man. Great on the mic too. Great
Very good.
commentator.
But I feel like the inactivity and injuries just doesn't allow you to get. He just didn't seem that comfortable in the cage, And I feel
think-
like the
yeah.
inactivity was like the main
It
reason.
was
for that.
it honestly went downhill ever since he did the whole mom thing.
oh
Kevin
yeah,
Holland.
yeah,
That
Mom
yeah.
was
thing
like,
tough,
Kevin
bro.
Lee.
Hey man, don't defend your mom like that. Kevin Lee.
Don't you ever talk about my mom that way,
Everyone's like, ooh.
Even Kevin Lee was like, "Dude, what?
What?
That
Dude,
wasn't
chill.
even- that wasn't even the target.
dude?
I just mentioned your mom."
Mom.
I loved Kevin Lee when he first came in because I actually thought he had such like championship
I
quality.
thought I thought he was the next guy.
I
I really
did
thought he
too.
was the next guy.
And then his brother came in and stole the spotlight just doing food reviews.
That wait, what? I don't know this.
Keith Lee.
He does food reviews.
So Keith Lee.
He's an MMA fighter, right?
Keith Lee he was in Bellator. I
Yeah.
actually didn't know that he has a fighting record, but he now just does food reviews. Keith Lee blew the fuck up. Yeah, he has
Ooh.
like 2 million followers on Instagram.
Damn, and that's not the Keith Lee I'm thinking.
He also said that LA has no good food whatsoever.
That's not Keith Lee.
Hey,
is it?
what's next for JDM, dude? Who do you guys want to match him up with, dude? What about JDM, Ian Garry?
Done.
Oh,
That's a fun
Done.
fight. Or even any of those guys in Ian Garry.
Okay. Ian Garry.
You about to shit on Ian Garry?
Listen, Ian Garry's striking is beautiful.
He's great.
I love it.
But when I hear him talk, huh?
Yeah, you know what
You
it
get
is?
annoyed a little
I
bit.
know that you're from the same area as Conor McGregor and you look up to him, but it's like, do a different shtick. You know what I'm saying?
Be less Irish, dude.
Yeah, don't be so
Why are you so Irish?
Don't be from where you're from.
Yeah. It's not cool. I got school.
What if all the Irish guys that like do MMA just sound like that?
But they don't.
Like who?
Huh?
John Kavanaugh. John Kavanaugh.
I knew you didn't know. You didn't have an answer to that.
I was gonna say Kavanaugh, and I'm like,
He
that's the
does.
Remember
only-
James Gallagher?
James Gallagher.
Gallagher.
But
He sounds like
but
McGregor.
check
He
it out.
dresses like McGregor too.
but check it out though. They both have openly admitted that they idolize Conor McGregor.
Ah,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
for me too, like, come on, bro. Like, this is weird. Like him going at Neil Magny was so corny because it was just such a stretch. Like Neil Magny's like, I'm gonna spank you. Like you're my child. He goes, this man's a child beater. He's a child beater. I was like,
That
what
was
a-
weird.
I was
The
like, what
energy
a
was
weird
weird.
angle.
Yeah, that's not that fun.
Like everybody listening, they're like, oh, this is a very weird angle and a reach. Like, be quiet.
I don't like when fighters take it to a little too dark and they get too serious with it. I like the trolling.
Yeah.
Trolling is great. That's a little weird.
Dude, Ian Garry should have said, "I'm gonna drop him like the Twin Towers."
Yes.
Like that would have been good.
Israel Adesanya.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Fantastic.
Just follow Izzy. Dude.
Frozen.
Yeah, I'm
Come
gonna leave
on.
you frozen like
Hell-
fucking.
You're
Elsa.
gonna go to
dude.
sleep like Cosby and the Roofies. Bow, bow, bow.
Everyone's like,
Yeah, and he's like, I'm gonna put the sweater on.
Epstein Island, take you somewhere where you don't even know.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Relax.
deep waters. See, Ian Garry, hit me up, bro. I'll teach
Yeah,
you how to
we
talk
got you,
shit.
dude.
But that's what you guys were saying, like with the way that he talks shit, it's too serious.
Too
Like,
serious.
You got him. Like Conor McGregor was fucking funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who the fuck
Fuck
is that guy?
Who
Easy.
the fuck is that?
Yeah.
You have to troll. You just have to troll. I'm trying to think of another fighter that takes it way too. It's a lot of these guys are just following the Conor model. They think they know they're doing it. They're just not.
Yeah.
They're really just not doing it at all.
Like just simple things. Like
Yeah.
remember when Conor McGregor was like, Floyd Mayweather can't even fucking read.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Done.
That's fun.
Game,
That's
point.
I'm laughing.
Nate
dude.
can't even count to 10.
Dude, remember when Nate and Connor were on the MSNBC?
Get me coffee.
The MSNBC.
Oh, one of
my
the greatest things ever.
God.
That is me and Tiff
What
will watch
about
that
the Money
randomly.
Channel or something? I was like, yeah, you are.
He's like, what the fuck is this? And he just starts cursing the whole time, and then Connor's busting up.
See, I'm like, that's what you got to be.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a star.
Yeah,
Ian
both of them.
Garry's a little too serious. It's like, dude,
Just relax, dude.
like your shit talking is weird, man.
Just be yourself.
Be entertaining, please.
Be yourself.
One more fight I want to talk in the prelims. David just showed us this. Edgar Chairez versus Daniel Lacerda. There was a guillotine choke, and it was called a tap? Or was
Yeah.
it the ref pulled him off before a tap?
So
Can you walk us
because
through that?
clearly I don't do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, you do.
So
Look at your
this-
body.
Okay, look, I tore my knee. I'm done. This is
We're gonna get David in jiu-jitsu, dude.
this is you, dude. I want you to explain this because I actually don't know what happened.
So
Walk people through the actual sequence.
So Lacerda shot a takedown, a single leg, and then Chairez stuffed the head, looped his arm through, and they got an anaconda choke on the hands on the outside. And it's like you're choking your carotid with this side, and then your other carotid with your other shoulder, right? And it was tight. It was really tight. He started getting put up against the cage, and he was arching his back trying to finish. And Lacerda, who was in the choke, the ref, Chris Tioni or whatever, is there checking his arm to see if he's okay. Picks up his arm, and then it goes limp. And then he stopped it right away. But then after the stoppage happened, he was like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
It's the Robbie Lawler situation all over again.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Pretty
Yes,
much.
Yes.
I felt like he could have just waited another half second or so, or maybe a couple more, 2-3 seconds. Because, dude, if you're asleep, he's asleep anyway. If he lets go and he drops,
If
that's
he's
all
dead,
good.
he's dead. I
If
like
he's dead,
that.
he's dead. You
Yeah.
know,
Water
He's
don't
gonna
get more wet. You know what I'm saying? Water's
yeah,
wet.
He's already donezo, right? Just wait a little bit.
Yeah,
That's what I.
Yeah, you gotta coach Ian Garry for sure.
Don't tap. Just go out.
If he's dead, he's dead, dude.
Yeah.
Is water more wet if it gets wet?
But I just think he jumped the gun. He interfered too early. He should have let it play out a little bit longer.
Well, from a like for me as a casual perspective, right when I saw it, I actually thought he was out.
It looked like it, bro. Like it's hard to.
His arm did go.
It went
That's
limp,
why it's
right?
like,
But
But that's what you're supposed to do.
yeah,
See, that's
like,
the
but
hard thing.
like that though.
it was a little quick.
I'm gonna say it kind of went down.
It did drop. It did drop. But so did Robbie Lawler. But he came up and he was like, yo, what the fuck? But when Robbie Lawler came up, he looked way more like
Alert.
awake.
Yeah.
Lacerda kind of did look like, oh, I'm fine, man. What the fuck? I'm fine. Just a little bit.
Hey, man, let's put logic to this then, all right? You're about to fuck your girl.
Yeah.
The
I can't
dick-
relate.
The
Me
dick-
either.
Can't
the dick
relate.
is limp, and she goes, "Oh, I guess we're done." And then he stands up, and his dick gets hard. He goes, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
I'd be like, how the fuck did you figure that out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whose fault is it? Is
Yeah.
it the lady or is it the guy?
That's wow.
That's
this guy,
tough,
this guy-
actually.
Ask
Holy
your
shit.
blood sister.
Gabby, weigh in.
Gabby, weigh
Hey,
in.
so when me and Cindy, dude, her hat went lower by itself.
like,
It just
I made a cartoon noise.
That's a good question.
I think it's no one's fault. I think
Honestly,
you
it's on us.
yeah.
Yeah.
If our dick goes limp,
It's
and then
on us.
we get panic hard, that's not real love hard.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
panic
that's
hard.
true. Yeah,
There
it's
we
gonna
go.
go away like that.
Yeah.
It's gonna turn into a wet noodle in 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's like, why did you stop fucking me? Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Well, it was limp.
Yeah.
What did you think?
So with this analogy, are we trying to say it's the fighter's fault?
100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
That's the conclusion we're drawing.
If you were a real man, you would have done the wrong thing and tensed up your neck and then fucking lost.
They'd lose.
Yeah,
for
take
sure.
the L like a real man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. Like I said, I don't know.
And they
jiu-jitsu, so
they
it's
overturned
hard.
it right away too. Usually it's like a couple weeks. Someone appeals and they'll be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, new news, fight got overturned." But the fact that they did it right then and there, I think it was the replay.
No, you know what? Yeah, that's not, it's not the fighter's fault. That's the ref's fault.
Yeah, the ref
It-
stepped
it's,
in.
it's a ref because even like when guys want to play possum with striking, like Ty does this quite often when he like wobbles.
Izzy does.
What if a fighter was like, if the ref was like, "Hey, stop the fight. He's wobbled." It's like, bro, I'm playing possum.
Yeah,
I
come
mean,
on, dog.
Let them play possum until let them get choked up. They get choked
I
up.
mean, one of the worst, the Iwan Kutalaba against Ankalaev.
That one was sick.
That was so stupid. Like he's like playing possum.
I was like, bro,
He was
what?
doing the Jackie Chan thing from
Yeah.
Jackie
Is he
Man.
doing Drunken Master?
I mean, the
That would've
way
been
he was
tight.
playing possum was so comical. Clearly, he's not wrong.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's actually funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you actually thought he was dizzy. He was like, "Whoa!" What? He might as well just made that noise like that.
Joe Rogan, he's saying, "Whoa,
He's out.
he's out, he's
He's out on his feet.
Well, then you know what? Give Robbie Lawler his what's it called? Fucking what do you call
That
it?
should have been no contest too.
Yeah.
Ben
Yeah.
Askren's not even in the UFC
I mean,
anymore.
Ben Askren got super lucky. He was out like a fucking light.
Dude, remember when he got slammed? That was so crazy.
Dude, it was amazing.
Jesus Christ.
Let's get into
Let's talk about it.
why everyone is here. There was a 10-8 round in the main event, and it was a draw. DC was interviewing Grasso after the fight, and she said, "I won," and then he said immediately, "It was a draw,"
Yeah.
which
out to
I
DC.
loved so
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Ah, it's a draw.
Yeah.
It's a draw. All right. First, let's just get this out there. So it's in concrete answers. Who did you have winning, and what was your round total? And then we'll get into more specifics of score. How many rounds to what? Ooh, you guys thinking about it still? You had a couple days.
I give it 3-2 Shevchenko, baby.
All right, I did too. I had round 1, round 3,
Yes. Round five.
That's it.
Round 5, just to put it out there, that was almost 4 minutes of domination.
and I feel like you could maybe argue round 4 and 2.
for Shevchenko,
dude.
you would argue a 5.
Okay, so round 2, Valentina gets dropped. Right?
Yes.
They scored that round for her because she did the most damage. She had the
Grasso,
knees and
yep.
the elbows. But also too, like, she did come back. She recovered. She was at a control position. I think it's a stretch if you were to give that round to Shevchenko. Obviously,
Knockdown. Come on.
Yeah,
It's
knockdown.
easy.
Oh, I wanted to ask about this too. So Shevchenko was contesting that those were illegal knee strikes, right?
so she wasn't weight bearing.
Yeah. So what is the rule behind that? Because I assume that once you have all 5 fingers to the floor, that it's pretty
Yeah.
much good to go. That you can't strike. But
Exactly.
It's not that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
so if her fingertips were barely touching the ground and she was like trying to put her hand there, and weight bearing is like her whole palm is on the ground and her base is 3 points of contact, her hand and then her 2 feet maybe, or maybe like a knee.
But don't fighters still play the tap game and they still honor that?
So now I think it's a newer rule
Okay.
that it's like if her whole hand isn't on the ground, then it's no go. And what's her name? I think Alexa Grasso too was like lifting her up and kneeing her at the same time, and she was pushing her against the cage.
So she was
So
moving.
she was moving backwards, right? So it was like she didn't have that much weight on her.
Okay,
lead
well
hand.
that's good. So they eliminated that bullshit.
And they
tapping
told her
thing.
right then and there too. They're like, "That's legal." Herb Dean was
Yeah.
saying to her like, "That's legal. That's legal. That's legal."
Shout out to Herb.
And they might have done that because of Aljo. Because
Yeah.
Aljo loves doing shit like that. You know. I like Aljo, but you play posse. You do that little shit too much, man.
He whack-a-moles all day on the
Yeah,
ground.
he loves fucking getting on all fours and shaking his head like this.
It's just
Bro,
not
he's
a good
twerking,
position.
man.
It's just not a good position. You know, it's just
Dude, it's so weird. If you're a fighter, you're on all fours.
Like,
you're doing
yeah,
this, It's like get knocked out.
And then Aljo's like,
hey, get fucking knocked out.
that's why Aljo, he gets so mad. He goes, I don't understand. I'm one of the greatest. I don't understand why people don't like me.
Cut to
It's because of shit like that.
yeah.
We're trying to
Beyonce concert.
We're trying to see a fight, not see you. He said Beyonce concert.
It's like, bro, he's on all fours doing this.
Ring the alarm. I'll be damned if I see another bitch on your arm.
Aljo. Someone meme it. Someone meme it right now.
Please do it. Because Aljo doesn't understand. He's like, I don't understand why people just hate on me so much. It's because
I feel bad for him.
it's the way in which you win that people don't like because you're finding these loopholes. Like I said, you're an amazing fucking fighter. And to be honest with you, I think you would win without that shit either.
Yeah.
So
Best grappler I still in that division, I think.
he's amazing. He's goofy as shit. Just weird.
Yeah.
Funk
He's the
master.
funk master.
Punk master. All right, so round round 2, Shevchenko. Round 3, you said what, Nick? You
I
went
go
Grasso.
round 1, Shevchenko.
Shevchenko.
Round 3, Shevchenko. Round 5, Shevchenko.
Shevchenko. But would you have been mad, either one of you, if they gave Grasso a 10-9 or a 10-9 for the fifth round?
I wouldn't be.
Is the 10-8 the problem, or is 10-9 still okay?
I even say
10-9's
even,
not okay for me
even
either.
round 4. Round 4 is kind of up in the air too for me. Like
Yeah.
I thought Shevchenko did pretty well in that round. Like 3-4. Like she ended up in a heel hook at the end, but you know, it's like I feel like she dominated. She controlled a lot of that round. But Alexa Grasso did have big moments in that fight. But from the standing, whenever they were standing, I felt like
Shevchenko was
was
the jab,
all over
man.
her.
The,
Yeah.
fifth, the fifth round, honestly, that was jabbing to the face for 4 minutes.
And on top of that too, it's like every time Valentina would land a jab, Grasso would just sit there, right? And then when she would counter, Valentina would pull and then counter back with like 2 shots. I just felt like she was kind of all over her with the stand up.
I'll say this, right? The UFC historically so far I would say in the last like 2 years or so.
historically.
Yeah, historically in the
Since
last
2000
2 years.
AD.
The UFC historically in the last 2 weeks. No, in the last like 2 years, right? Judges have a problem with respecting the jab. Like
Yeah.
they don't respect the jab as hard damage, which is absolutely stupid. And I'll give you a great
Especially in MMA gloves.
Exactly. Let's give a great Corey Sandhagen has an amazing jab, right? Let's look at the fight with I'm sorry, not Corey Sandhagen, Rob Font. Rob Font's jab
Oh
is
my God.
absolutely amazing,
Big ass
right?
paw.
We look at Jeremy Stevens. Jeremy Stevens gets gifted a lot of wins. And look, I'm a Sacramento boy, so I love Jeremy Stevens for that, right? Minus his gyno. Now, Jeremy Stevens.
Wait, he has
You
got
talking about Emmett?
Oh, I'm sorry, not Jeremy Stevens. Josh Emmett. I'm sorry.
Josh Emmett.
My bad.
Get your gyno right, dude.
My bad. Both of them are hard-hitting white boys. Josh Emmett, he gets awarded a lot of significant strikes because he throws these hard looping punches that always hits everybody's guard, right?
Yeah, forearms.
And you look at his fights with jabbers where he got his face jabbed in, and then judges don't even count it. They think it's whatever.
Like Dan Ige.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Dan
Yeah.
Ige fight. He keeps getting gifted these things. And so I think a lot of judges don't know what it's like to get jabbed in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Like it is hard, significant damage.
And especially with the jab, you're controlling the fight, which is another aspect of judging criteria, right?
I mean,
And
look
then-
at GSP. His whole career is that.
Yeah, just touching dudes in the face. Look at Josh Koscheck's eye.
so when you look at that 5th round, right?
Rude.
Look at this shit, dude. She
Josh
was
Koscheck.
jabbing her fucking face off.
Yeah.
And if we're talking about control being a huge factor as well, and you're only looking at it for the fact that she took her back, well, let's talk about time then. That's
1 minute.
Yeah.
1 minute.
Nearly 4 minutes of control with the jab and significant strikes. And you're saying that a 10-8 score for having your back doing absolutely nothing
Yeah.
beats octagon control with significant damage makes absolutely no sense to me.
Because she had, at one point, the forearm across her neck to choke, but it popped right off.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, yeah, you're attempting a submission, but it wasn't like leading to, I don't want to say excessive damage, but like a lopsided result.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like you left the 5th round thinking,
Whoa. There
whoa.
was no whoa.
Like when we saw Islam and Volk, right? That 5th round, that's more of a 10-8 to me than this fight.
Yeah.
Because you saw the body language of Islam. Like, he didn't look that good, right? Volk was kind of all over him, and he was fucking punching his face in. He got on top, right? For this one, I just felt like, yeah, the submission attempt was like maybe there, but it didn't it wasn't close.
I will even concede this, right? Let's say Shevchenko was controlling the center of the octagon, right? But she didn't punch her face in. Then yeah, maybe let's give that 10-9 over to Grasso.
Yeah.
Right? I say 10-9, not 10-8.
Yeah.
But she was controlling the center of the octagon and beating her to smithereens with a jab.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense at all.
I'm less insulted by the 10-8. I'm more insulted that every judge had this round going to Grasso.
Yeah,
That's more insulting to me. I'm like, so what you're saying as judges is that you value, I guess, moments like that on the ground more so than technical control, which is weird.
And damage.
And damage.
And then the 4th round, they have 2 people going for Valentina and then 1 person going for Alexa Grasso in the 4th round.
And by the way, this judge's name is Mike Bell.
Nick's best friend. Nick's best friend.
Nick's best friend. What is your relationship to Mike Bell?
You know, we used to train with him at Fight Academy. He used to come and train, and he would ref all the local amateur fights. So we'd always see him like, "What up, Mike?" Like, he was just cool. He was a cool ass dude, really nice guy, and like he's a nerd about fighting. You know,
Is he?
Is he really though?
yeah, that's what I thought.
All right.
And then we'd always see him at local coffee shops. They're like, "Yo, what up, Mike? I saw you at Bellator last weekend. We just shoot the shit. Really nice guy."
Well, you better talk to him, ask him what the fuck happened with his scoring.
I think everyone hitting him up right now, bro.
Yeah, he has to explain himself. That is some bullshit.
I think everyone is hitting him up right now. And also, I think one of the only ways you could solve the judging problem is open sparring. Open scoring,
Open
dude.
pool at the community center?
Yeah, open from 12 to 2 every Wednesday.
Open pool.
I feel like open scoring is the way, dude. Like, wouldn't it be fucking tight?
Can you explain to people what open scoring is?
So apparently is every time a round would finish, everybody in the arena, commentators, fighters, they would know how the fight was scored. So they would know if they're down, if they lost the first round, or won the second round.
Does boxing always do that?
They don't even do that.
They don't do that. Okay.
They'll have like an unofficial scorecard.
Yeah.
PFL does that.
PFL does that. Oh,
they
that's
do.
cool.
They do open scoring.
I didn't know that.
I think PFL. Well, I'm not sure. We could see it in the audience, or like on the.
Oh, they do like a analyst.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really do that much in UFC.
No.
They don't. But I feel like that would be a really great way just to see how the fights would change. Like, will that enact somebody to do more? Like, because they do that in jiu-jitsu, right? So much is point system. And when you get to the last like minute of the fight, you could see guys really trying to come back from that deficit. And it does make the fight more exciting just because there's a little bit of urgency, you know? So I think that might be a great way to do that. And on top of that too, they just have to get better judges. Like, all the guys have to train.
So what's the deal with these judges? Where do we get? Are these all boxing judges? Like, I don't even know how that whole.
I think a lot of them are, right?
Not
like,
Mike Bell though. Mike Bell does MMA.
He's an MMA guy.
Are you sure? Because I heard he worked at Trader Joe's.
He did work at Trader Joe's for a little bit.
Okay, so when he was at Trader Joe's, right? Was he just constantly giving people free shit because he's blind? Would he at the checkout? Was he just beeping things over and people would just walk out with stuff in the grocery store? Is that what would happen?
I don't know, dude. I don't know if he was a floor guy. I think he was a manager, dude. I think he's.
What's worse.
I think he's a manager. So.
What is he managing? Nobody.
He's managing the numbers.
He's a guy that would wear a Hawaiian shirt, walk into Trader Joe's, and tell people he's a manager.
Your name's not even on the schedule.
Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't know. I was surprised.
10-8's wild.
When I
man.
saw it was Mike Bell, I was like, no way it's Mike.
That's shocking.
Yeah. And it turned out to be Mike.
I just want to talk to him. Just to hear him out, or just I would like for him to do a video just to hear his rationale, whether he's right or wrong.
Dude,
I just want to hear it.
Yeah,
the itch isn't scratched.
Yeah,
I think
let's get him on here.
I bet those guys, they just get caught up in the moment too, right?
Here we go, defending.
Oh, yeah, good.
Don't you think?
Well,
You're
yeah,
like, this is a lot of pressure,
the
man.
The crowd is screaming. Obviously, it's a Mexican fight night. You know, if he scores it in favor of Shevchenko, clearly he's going to get beaten by a bag of churros. That's what's going to happen. No, Mike Bell, that's not going to happen. Do your job, all right? The Mexican people are kind, loving
Yeah,
human
dude.
beings.
They would never do that to you.
What's wrong with you?
They probably
Don't let
use
the pressure get to
elote,
you.
dude. It's harder.
Yeah,
You would
dude.
do
And
more
tahini
damage.
in the eyeballs.
Híjole de la chingada, my friends. Relax, all right? The Mexican people are fine.
They
Chill,
would never
man.
do that to you. But I don't know, man. It's
So you say open scoring. Do you have a solution?
I'm probably open scoring.
Open scoring.
Well, I don't understand what the argument against open scoring is.
you know why? Because the commission's like, we don't want to have to do all that. Dude. It's fine the way it works. Just let it ride.
Because you're going to see the
Come
dynamic,
on.
the dynamics of a fight change so much.
For the better.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm down this much. Let me show what's up. Because they also can see now, oh, these judges score based on this shit. All right, well, let's see what's up.
It helps the
Exactly,
fighters and
yeah.
the coaches. You're learning how they judging the
But
fights. You can
also
adjust to it.
too, if they don't change the judges, which they probably won't, they'll probably get the same group of people until like the sport evolves and more people get into judging. I don't know who wants to be an MMA judge or like a athletic commission judge because it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
You got to do like a bunch of local shows and then kind of prove your like we've known Mike Bell for like 10 fucking years. So it's like to see him in the UFC now,
And
you're
fuck
like,
it all
hey.
up like that. Crazy, huh?
Hey, call him up right now.
Yeah.
I don't have his
FaceTime
Actually,
him.
I don't know if I have his number.
How about this? Mike Bell, I will say this to his credit. His job is fucking tough. All these
is. It's
hard job.
MMA, it's hard. There's so many things that they have to look at. It's a difficult job. I understand that. But no matter how difficult his job, that score is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
bad it's a bad
It's
round.
ridiculous.
It's just not a 10-8.
It's not.
No matter which way you look at it, I don't think it's a 10-8.
I think a lot of this too is on the commission, and I think the laziness of. I don't know why we're still doing the 10-8 or like just the 10-point scoring system for MMA. I think it needs to be a little different, like maybe more metrics that you're actually grading, like a rubric, and then you tally up the stuff maybe. Because I feel like there's too much. There's just too. You're asking a lot of these guys, like these human people, to do a shit ton. Where boxing, it's kind of like, okay, I can look at significant strikes and maybe how many the damage. Very simple. I feel simpler. This is just too much shit. And if you're someone that doesn't even know how the ground game works, that's tough to.
Which is most of them, I think.
That's tough.
I think
a
it's
lot of them
most
to do, like-
people, right?
Yeah, and I've openly admitted too already in this episode I don't know what's happening a lot with these like jiu-jitsu exchanges and these submissions, right? Like if it's clear and clear from what I've seen from the years I've watched the UFC, that's fine. But when it starts getting into specifics, I'm lost. I don't understand how they're trying to get these positions, why they're doing this, and what they're trying to set up.
Sounds like you need a jiu-jitsu.
Listen, I don't have knees.
Sounds like you need to train.
It sounds like maybe you should get expensive surgery and fix your knee.
Yeah, all right, dude. Then I'm out for 4 months and I'm fat as hell again. I can't do it.
Dude, you don't need a meniscus to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You shut up. How about that, huh? Let's talk about scoring, all right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's break it down exactly because I feel when a lot of people talk about MMA scoring and they get upset at these things, they actually don't know how it's graded. So let's break it down.
So,
Who knows how to grade?
Oh, I thought we are just gonna read off.
Oh,
So the main
I was like, okay, who knows how to
Well,
talk
'cause I don't
about
want to paraphrase it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
well, obviously
Let's
the
go through
first
it.
thing is effective, whatever that means, subjective. But
Are you
it's
talking about here? Effective striking and grappling.
Yeah, right. So that makes sense. Whoever's using more of a striking offense, more grappling offense to control position. Yeah.
Already a problem.
Why? Well,
You're using the word effective, which
does
is a
that mean?
subjective
that's
word.
what I'm saying. Yeah. But it's more than the other person. That's how they look at it. Is this person using better,
But see,
more effective?
these are all subjective
striking?
words, which is why I go back to the rubric issue. It's just very difficult. Sorry, keep going. I'm just ready to
But
frustrated
I'll say
by
this: this works for people that understand the sport.
Exactly.
If you don't understand the sport, then this is fucking Chinese to you. You know, like what is effective grappling? And I think that's what the main issue is with a lot of the judges is like they don't know striking. Obviously, a little bit more understand. Like whenever it's a striking fight, sometimes the well, actually, that's not true. But for grappling, it's harder to
That's hard.
understand
That's
the
hard.
positions.
Even with striking though, and I
Yeah.
see this consistently in comments for casual fans like us. A lot of people say this with the jab, and this is my biggest contention. People say he was just jabbing, or with any fighter, he was just jabbing throughout the whole fight. These weren't significant strikes. Have you ever been jabbed in the face? Have you ever? Did you look at the damage on their face?
Yeah.
Jabs are effective strikes, and a lot of
Especially in MMA.
yes, these are 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah.
It hurts. It does damage. It changes the dynamic of the fight right? It makes people think about the distance, the range, how they can enter. It fucks everything up. And it's one of the biggest factors for octagon control.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, so what are you talking about? Jabs aren't effective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like a counter striker, right? One could say that's not effective.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, no, I guess, relinquishing control in the octagon is effective with this specific fighter for the counter striking.
Yeah.
So once again, I say very subjective unless you tell them what it is or teach. I mean, I feel like you have to be qualified to even talk about this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, what are the exact specifics? Because like you said, with the counter striker, right? Let's say the person's
Izzy.
game, is a
Cage.
counter. So they're moving laterally, they're going backwards towards the cage, right? But they have harder, significant strikes. Are you going to say that this person octagon control because he was walking him down,
Yeah.
that he was the better fighter?
And
Or
they mentioned
fighting area control.
they mentioned that stuff, right? But so like if somebody is just moving around, right, and trying to get away to open positions while their back is against the cage and the guy is pressing them forward against them, whoever's landing the most shots
Wins that exchange.
wins both. Like he may not win fighting area control, but it goes back. Effective striking, grappling takes the precedence, if that makes sense. So if they're both just moving around and no strikes are being landed, then the guy who's moving forward should be awarded that round.
And this
If
is
that
my
makes sense.
biggest my biggest issue with that fifth round, right?
Yeah.
We're talking about almost 4 minutes of control with striking versus like a minute-ish of back control. Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's clear as night. That's night and day.
I would
That's
like to
clear
even
as day.
point out, I would say effective striking, and then second point here, effective aggressiveness from Shevchenko. Number 3, fighting area control for 4 minutes.
Let's go.
She covered all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick, so maybe call Mike Bell and tell him this.
Yeah, and ask him
I
when.
think he knows that. I think he was just giving too much credit to
For none of this.
Alex Grasso for the back take. Like, I think if we were to call him up and ask him, like, what happened? He'd probably be like, well, he had her back in the fucking 5th round, right? I don't think he's right. Like, he did, but I don't think that would have – I don't think that's worth 10-8.
A 10-8 round is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
So
Here's
look at the
some of it.
10-8 rounds, right? The 10-8 round is when a fighter wins by a large margin.
Okay.
Right? Judges shall always score a 10-8 round when the judge has established that one fighter has dominated the action of the round, had the duration of the domination, and also impacted their opponent with either effective strikes or effective grappling maneuvers that have diminished the abilities of their opponent. I don't feel like Alexa Grasso achieved that in the 5th round.
Oh, 100%. That's not even, you can't even argue that. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, I don't understand why Mike Bell left his eyes at home. I didn't know you could just pop it out of your head like that, like a Mr. Potato Head, Mike Bell.
Yeah.
Maybe he has cataract, bro. You don't know. Maybe
Well,
he has a
guess-
cloudy eye.
Get it fixed.
Get
Look what
him fixed.
Bisping does. He just looks one way the whole time.
Yeah,
Just do what Bisping does. And he scores the fight right, and he has one eye.
Yeah.
Shout out to Michael Bisping coming on the podcast.
please, I love you. I freaking love you.
Okay, my solution for this, I'd like to get your guys' take on it, is, okay, we change the scoring. Fuck it. You just do it for 2023, like Pride. I say make it easier and just judge the fight as an entire
Oh,
project.
dude, that's going to be even worse.
But I like it.
We should just have one guy, and he either goes thumb up,
Okay.
thumb down.
Okay, so
dude.
here's my second pitch. I say we do the UFC scoring like the NBA All-Star voting. I say 50% goes to the judges, 25% to Dana White and the matchmakers, and 25% to the audience live.
Dude,
and
they
then
can't-
you
they can't do
combine
that.
all that with statistics.
no.
Dana White and the UFC organization cannot be involved.
They get
bro.
25%. So you still have to get 50% of the judging, and then the fans, everyone. If you bought a pay-per-view, you get 1 vote per pay-per-view. You're paying $80 for a vote.
I'm not going to
Well,
trust those fucking assholes with
Not
the
like
vote,
you guys.
dude.
You guys obviously steal streams, so it's different for you both.
Damn it, I got to buy the fights to vote.
Dana White,
Fuck.
I have never stole a stream in my life, all right? I support the UFC always.
We don't steal it.
The Russians do it.
I'm not doing anything, dude. But if it
Yeah.
happens to fall in my lap, I'm gonna take a look.
Yeah, I've
know
never
what I mean?
stolen a stream ever, Dana White. I pay those ridiculous prices every time because I love the sport and I love what you do. Send me to the Apex. I want to go to
Please,
So
bro.
you
I've
do
been paying for the UFCs since the last one I paid for was probably
Why are you bumbling so much?
200. UFC
Why are you
200.
bumbling?
What do you mean? I'm so chill, dude. I'm fucking calm. Last pay-per-view I paid for was 200.
Very
dude.
cool.
UFC 200. Who fought on that? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Anderson Silva and Daniel Cormier. dude.
Yep. Main event.
Brock Lesnar and Mark Hunt.
What? No way.
Was it?
Oh, hey, hey,
Wait, was it?
dude, we have to fuck yo. This is crazy.
No, we owe each other a soda. We
Oh,
don't
is that what it is?
fuck.
I
No,
think
but
we have
you
to
have to
fuck.
drink this soda. Fuck.
Jinx, we have to fuck.
You guys are gross, dude.
I do that with all the girls at work.
Brock Lesnar. Who the heck did he fight?
I think he fought Mark Hunt.
Oh,
that
I
was
think
the
you're
lawsuit.
right. And then Cain Velasquez fought Travis Brown. Is that right? The spinning
Nah,
wheel
dude.
kick? Okay.
Oh, you talking about Brock
fuck
Lesnar, the
outta here.
steroid cheat?
Yeah, Nicholas.
Whatever,
All right,
dude.
guys.
Brock Lesnar
Well,
too.
it's something we're probably never going to figure out. I hope the
Doesn't
UFC
matter.
does something to change it. They really should get at least better, like, I don't know, maybe pay for some of these judges within the UFC, maybe not the commission, to know how to do this. I don't know what the answer is. All right, let's move over to some
Great fight, though.
Great
Yeah,
fight.
amazing fight.
I'll say this, was very surprised Grasso kept that very competitive. I thought Shevchenko was going to come back and wipe her, but
Grasso is
New
very
era?
stoic, dude.
Yeah,
very
You
stoked.
see her face? She's
Oh.
like no facial expressions.
that's
like,
because her eyes
negative
are
or
so close
positive.
together. That's different.
before we move on, really quick, what happens next? Do we want rematch? Yes or no? Keep it
Rematch,
simple.
they have to. It's,
they have to rematch.
like I would love to see Aaron Blanchfield in the mix.
You would?
Yeah, she's very good.
she's very
bro.
good.
She's
she could be
so
the next champ.
good, dude.
She could be the next champ.
But I feel like they
Think
got to run
Meatball.
that back.
I want Meatball and Grasso.
She's not gonna make that. I don't know, dude.
All right, fight news. Here's a topic I wanted to talk about. I don't know, I added it last minute, but there's an NBA player. I believe his name is James Johnson. He said that he could beat Jon Jones in a fight.
That is hilarious. He's so
That's
cute.
crazy.
I wish I could play it, but I'm not going to play the whole thing. He was on so ESPN is covering this, and a lot of the sports channels, because apparently all his family members are black belts. So he has
really?
7 black belts in his family.
What kind of black belts?
Yeah, black belt in what?
Yeah,
Dumbass.
I got a black belt when I was 12, by the way.
By the way,
Isn't that funny?
Wait,
Giving an
in-
11-year-old a fucking. I'm going into the 7th grade and I got a black belt
in karate.
I don't like
for Shotokan. Imagine,
Ooh.
Bro,
I
but
would've
that's
got
the
my
90s.
ass.
Karate
Yeah.
schools, 90s, black belt factories all day.
That's true, but it's like you can't do that. That's not okay.
Let's hear this shit.
Should we play? Pete, is there audio on the?
Oh, he has MMA experience.
On the TV?
Yeah, or maybe I can play it here.
But like I said,
we go.
with a year of training defense, I just need ground defense.
I think the scary thing.
I don't
'cause
think
we're
that's
big
true.
Athletes, it's like, okay, JJ can move how you move. And
James
he's 6'8".
Johnson.
That's the scary part. Like where.
Oh,
okay,
this is so
he can do
stupid.
everything you do, and he's 6'8". Like
See?
that's where the big difference.
No, it's not, you idiot.
And the opposite is he started learning how to use your hands and your feet. What after college? Like I've been punching and kicking since I was
5, 6 years old.
So, like, the
What
same
is
thing
this
for me.
nonsense?
Dude, what if we
Alright,
what if we see him on the pads and you're like, oh my god, he might be able to
Nah.
beat Jon Jones.
He apparently punched Pascal Siakam in a basketball fight. So all the sports channels like, oh, well, he can punch. You know, NBA
No.
punch.
Yeah, it was an NBA punch.
So people are covering this like, you know why the UFC, they have these great fighters with skill sets. So all the sports channels are covering this. But like, what if you had all the NBA, NFL guys in this sport? Those guys would be all dominant.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Is that
definitely
true or
true.
false?
But then also they're gonna be like, I'm just gonna play basketball because I make way more money doing that.
Listen,
Dude, fighting's not for everybody, bro. You gotta be like, yeah, you could have all the skills and attributes,
Greg Hardy
but those guys,
gets
There-
knocked out.
hey, there
that's
you
an
go.
athlete. That is an athlete.
it's so much more up here than it is like physical attributes. I
Gilbo,
think.
what a great example.
Yep.
Greg Hardy, right? And by the way,
Do it, David. Rip it.
very, 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 very athletic, very strong, very explosive heavyweight, right? Look what happened to him when he started going up the ranks, right? It's weird when I hear conversations from people like this, right? And I will say this, and Nick knows this early on when we were training. I used to get caught up when anybody who told me that they trained, I just believed everything immediately. And I used to get kind of disappointed a lot. You know, we had somebody who was an MMA fighter, a lady, that came in and trained, and she was talking a big game. And I remember when she was training with us, I was like, afterwards when she left, I was like, Nick, what the fuck was that? I was like, what is this? And
She
then-
said she was a fighter.
no, she was. She did fight. And this is the thing too. Just because you have fought in a low level, it doesn't mean that you're good.
Exactly.
Look at amateur boxing for an example, right? I've been to quite a few amateur boxing matches. The scariest thing about amateur boxing and kickboxing is that it's a mixed bag. You might get the guy who thinks that he's the shit and he absolutely sucks, or you might get a Jon Jones.
Yeah.
You absolutely do not know. There are levels to this shit, even at the lower levels, right? But when you take a guy like this who isn't an active fighter and he's saying, I'm a big guy and I'm athletic, that, yes, it does mean something, but you're talking about Jon fucking Jones.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
You put that guy in a local gym, any place, right? I'm sure he's going to be like a freak athlete, of course.
6'8", 280.
But once people actually train for an extended period of time, maybe it's like a month or so, they start to realize like, oh yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, I was wrong.
This
right?
ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're like, there will be smaller guys that could probably ragdoll that dude.
Yeah, it's just
Ragdoll. And it's like, yeah, you could train defense for a year, but it's still not going to be up to snuff.
Okay, so let me play contrarian here. Brock Lesnar. He came in, athlete.
But what's his background?
Wrestling,
Let's go.
NCAA. He came in
At the highest
30
level.
at the highest.
He came in at 30 years old.
At the highest level.
This guy played NBA at the highest level.
That's
Actually, false. He's on the bench. So I don't know if he did.
Brock Lesnar processes his own meat with his bare hands. This guy is not a normal.
He grinds it.
He grinds
takes
it
a
with
ribeye,
his-
grinds it up, and
Hey,
it becomes
Nick,
ground
relax
beef.
with that, man.
All right, yeah. I don't know. People get really crazy with their words because remember when Bradley Martin was talking about, oh yeah, I could beat whatever MMA fighter, all
that's
this other
crazy.
shit. It's like, come on, man, put some respect on their fucking names.
Bradley Martin.
Right? Like, I just think it's odd, right? Especially for somebody like this man here who has trained before, but he hasn't even trained with elite people. Clearly, he hasn't. And even if he did, number one, every heavyweight talks about this. It is very, very hard for heavyweight people to find sparring partners because they're so big.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that him, who is not in the gym like that, even though he said he's been kicking and punching since he was a kid, same here, dude. Have you seen my sparring footage? Trash. All right? You're not. I don't care. I don't care to hear this. Put some respect on Johnny. DC with his busted ass back will fuck you up.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's
I'm
not-
gonna side with this NBA player because I just saw something that just said he's 7-0 in MMA and 20-0 in kickboxing.
Bullshit.
And I also looked
Oh,
it up.
this
and you know
guy.
what?
Yeah,
I looked
he's-
it up on ShareDog. None of this exists.
Let me see. Scroll down, dude. I remember this dude.
How old is James Johnson?
38.
Okay. Okay.
But dude, he's 7-0 in MMA. That doesn't exist.
Dude, I am an undefeated
Or 36.
Taekwondo champion.
Oh,
all right?
look. There's no records
Ooh.
or footage of any of these bouts.
Oh.
Remember how many people that we've met that are like, oh yeah, I got 20 fights. Like, because you could just say that shit, especially if you trained early enough when it wasn't a thing, you know?
I'm going to tell you guys a quick story.
Yep.
There was a young Asian man who was an actor, said he had over 60 amateur fights. And this is me in my early training days, and I was enamored by this. I was like, this is
Who is
amazing.
this?
But this guy was talking a big game to me, and I was enamored by this, and I thought it was great. And then lo and behold, we go into a training session.
Do I know this guy?
You probably do.
Okay.
And he starts rolling with one of our friends, Peter. Peter doesn't really train jiu-jitsu. He does it casually with his brother Yoshi, right?
Oh,
Peter,
so he started rolling with a model.
yeah. Peter chokes him out.
Very natural too, Peter.
Wow.
60 something amateur fights, which he did have amateur fights, by the way, right? But this is what it goes to show. Like, just because you went in there doesn't mean that you're good.
Yeah, that's
Right?
very true.
So just saying that too. And I thought he would be like 20 something years old or something. He's 38. With a fight record that doesn't fucking exist. I'm gonna just start doing that. Hey guys, you know I'm fucking 36-0.
Yeah. But he's talking. He
Yeah.
keeps saying I'm 6'8", but it's like Jon Jones is 6'4".
Yeah.
You're only 4 inches taller, than
dude.
him. And also too, like, yeah, if you're talking about a regular MMA fighter, you're talking about Jon Jones, who has an amazing genetic pool.
Mm-hmm.
His brothers are all champions in the NFL.
Yes. Unfair.
So, it's just like it's not like you're talking about like some Joe Schmo guy.
Hey,
You're
you're
talking about Randy Couture. Okay, maybe, dude. But
And by the way, you're 7-0. Jon Jones is undefeated as well at the highest level.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
his one loss doesn't count. He is undefeated at the highest level. He beat the brakes off of Daniel Cormier, one of my favorite light heavyweights of all time.
did it twice.
Twice.
And pushed him off a stage.
Yeah. Oh, oh, you're gonna say the M-bomb? Yeah, real classy.
All right, guys. We're running low on time, so let's move over to we're gonna do some quick fight predictions. So tell me who you got, and give me a little bit of a sexy take on each of these fights. We have a fight night with Fiziev and Gamrot. This is going to be juicy. We have a classic stand-up versus grappler, but I feel like they're both, especially Gamrot, he's a lot more.
I love Fiziev simply because of this one interview where he was asked if he could go have dinner with any MMA fighter, who would it be? He says, "I would not go with any man because that's gay." So that right there.
He said that?
Yeah. That is,
Holy shit, was that you, David?
hey, I love my gays. What are you talking about?
Hey, Pete, when was the last time you went on dinner with a
glizzy.
guy? When was the last time you had dinner with a man?
I think it was 6 months ago, and then we went to go see a movie afterwards.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And that is a man who's secured in his sexuality, baby.
Or-
Let's
That's pretty
go.
tight.
He's hiding from his wife in a movie theater.
He was at a date.
Hey, I don't
Pete was on a hot
I'm
date.
going to the gym.
Why y'all dressed up? Don't worry about it.
And why do you smell like cum?
Don't worry about it.
I know your cum. Your cum doesn't smell like that.
All right, David, who do you got for this fight? This is a good one.
I mean, Matus Gamrot, what is his biggest attribute? Grappling, right?
Yes.
Great. I mean, I still felt like he lost to Armin Sarukian. Still don't.
Yeah,
that
bro,
shit.
for real.
Fucking trash.
Armin should be
Jesus.
fighting for the fucking belt, dude.
Yeah, that is one of the most. That is worse than the fucking Shevchenko decision, by the way.
I think so too.
Gamrot is going to lose because Fiziev has amazing takedown defense, and his striking is
Let's
a
go.
problem. Gamrot's striking is not very good.
All right, so we're all gonna go for the same pick. Bryce Mitchell, coming off a loss. I forgot who he lost to, but he's coming off both coming off a loss. Dan Ige and Bryce Mitchell.
Yeah.
Nick, who do you got for this one? And
I
why?
could see Bryce Mitchell taking Dan Ige's back and just,
Doing what he does.
yeah, doing what he does. But I do feel like Dan Ige is very well rounded, and Hawaii strong,
Let's
always
go.
in this house, baby.
And David said, you said all the Polynesians. You always go Polynesian.
I
50K.
always go with
He's got the
Dan
greatest
Ige.
fucking nickname too.
Hey, Dan
50K.
Ige stepped in last minute against Corey Sandhagen, right? Was that Dan Ige?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's my dude. He has now faced somebody with great grappling. Surprising that's Sandhagen, right? Because he's obviously leveled up.
Guys,
Ige.
you're both wrong. I'm going with my southern brother.
I like him, though.
Bryce Mitchell. Let's go. January 6th. I'm into it. Woo!
Is he January 6th guy?
No, he's not.
Garry.
All right, guys. Quick ones on this. Marina Rodriguez, Michelle Watterson still fighting.
What's with that mom haircut, dude? What's
She's
going
playing
on?
into it for sure.
Yeah, I got Marina Rodriguez.
She looks like she
bro.
complains at Starbucks every day. What's going on?
She got the ultimate care. Bro, she got the John and Kate +8.
Let's go.
She got the John and Kate +8.
Are you gonna seriously breathe like that throughout the whole interview?
That lady is wild.
Yeah,
dude.
dude.
But she does have the haircut. And for that reason alone, I'm going Michelle Watterson. Let's go, Karen.
Hey, I love Michelle Karate Hottie.
Karate hottie, dude. She was on Bully Beatdown. Come
Dude,
on.
hey, come on. Michelle Watterson all the way, dude.
I'm going Brazil, brah.
Next fight,
She's
Brian.
from- damn it.
Amazing last name. Battle versus AJ Fletcher. I'm actually not too familiar with AJ Fletcher, so I'm gonna go on looks, and I think Brian Battle looks sexier.
He's on a tear right now, Brian Battle. Huh?
He has improved so much. He's
on a tear.
game now. He's like in
He
his-
just knocked somebody out with a head kick or something, right?
He's in his. I
Can you click on
think
his-
he lost his last fight, but before that, he went with the kick.
Can you
head kick.
click on his name real quick? I want to see who he lost to. Oh yeah, he beat Gabe Green.
Gabe
That's
Green,
what it
that's
was.
what it was, yeah.
Green. Isn't that Alex's guy?
Yeah. Gabe Green, dude.
Yeah,
Nice
Gabe
guy,
Green
great
had
guy.
absolutely no game plan fighting Brian Battle in that fight. I was like,
That was a tough fight. He couldn't close the gap on him. Yeah, I'm going Brian Battle, dude.
I
Great
thought-
name.
Yeah, Brian.
AJ Fletcher's very good.
I don't know who he is. I don't know.
My man looks like he hates Jewish people.
For
He's
that
the
reason.
Fuhrer.
I'm going with Brian Battle, baby.
Oh, I think for that reason, I'm with AJ Fletcher.
This is a fucking fun fight.
Charles Jordan.
Charles Jordan and Ricardo Ramos.
Charles
Ricardo
Ramos.
Ramos is a scary guy. He's a submission guy. Look at his record, and he just kind of. But I like Charles Jourdain.
He's fucking game.
He's
dude.
fun, dude.
I love watching
He's
him
so
fight.
fun. But these guys. This is gonna be a banger of a fight because they're opening up the main
Guys,
card.
I'm going to start off. I'm going to say Charles Jourdain. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's
And he
fun.
beat a Gracie.
He beat
I mean,
Cron.
I don't know what the fuck Cron Gracie was doing. He might as well just fight at UFC 1.
Yeah.
The hell was that shit, dude?
It's
Yeah.
because he's pescatarian. He needs to eat something.
Yeah, you got to eat some real food. Actually, I was pescatarian for a little bit.
I'm going to talk shit, but that's
Yeah,
me.
my bad.
I'll be doing that.
Who do you guys got?
I got Charles Jourdain.
I think Charles Jordan because I like the French.
I think that's a 50-50 fight though.
All right, guys, those are our picks. We're all correct on those, so make sure you put a lot of money in our picks because we know what we're talking about. That is the end of our show. We have a question for the audience to answer in the comments. What is that question?
Is Bobby Green's penis as large as they say it is? Oh, no. I actually want to hear this. And it's just the topic of this actual podcast.
Yeah.
Do you think that Grasso deservedly won that fight? After we spoke about the judging criteria, do you think Grasso actually won? And if you did, you're a racist.
I agree. Towards who?
Everybody.
Towards a Peruvian. What is she? What is Shevchenko?
Dude, she's like from,
She's Russia or some
She reps Peru.
You know what?
No, she doesn't rep Peru.
I think
dude.
her flag is
her
blue
flag
and yellow.
is Kyrgyzstan.
Oh, is it Kyrgyzstan?
That's Argentina. Is blue and yellow.
Oh, my bad. She is a Borat.
Yes, Shamash.
I kick it very nice.
Well, guys, answer that question down in the comments below. Make sure if you don't like any of these takes here, make sure you comment also in the rebuttal section so we can finally do an actual rebuttal section with David. So talk shit about my guy over here.
Yeah.
Make sure you
Someone's wrong.
subscribe to us. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Hit like on this video, and we're slowly going to build this show. I hope you guys like our outro and our intro logo. We're going to constantly keep changing, reiterating the show. It's going to be ran by you guys in a way. So let us know in the comments. It's a community show. It's for you. It's for us. It's for Shevchenko's redemption. Okay? So any final comments from you boys?
Like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you listen to us on all audio platforms when we get it there. Remember, this is an interactive type of deal. We're all casuals. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying, and I already got 36 facts wrong on this episode, which that's why I'm a casual, baby. Talk some shit, baby. Let's go.
We're just having fun.
Nick?
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And tell a friend about the show. A fellow MMA fan.
Do it. Peace.